I don't know if this is the best strategy, it's just what I do, is to hoard as many sparks as I can and buy the biggest treasure chest, because that always comes with a unique pin inside, so I know I'm gonna get something I don't have, but it also has lots of rewards inside, and I think I just like getting lots of boosters.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Crush and Tell, where we lift the lid on the magic of Candy Crush by introducing you to the folks who make it happen. My name is Trisha Hirschberger, and let's go ahead and dive right in. Catt, thank you so much for being here today, and welcome to Crush and Tell. I'm so excited to dig in and get all the intel that you have to share. So let's go ahead and start off. If you could let everyone know a little bit about yourself and what you do with Candy Crush Saga.
So my name's Catt. I'm a senior narrative designer for Candy Crush Saga. And my background is actually in theater, but somehow I ended up working in the games industry, and that's how I got to Candy Crush Saga.
So you're perfectly suited for Crush and Tell is what I'm hearing.
So excited to be here.
So exciting. Okay, so it's time to dive into today's Crush and Tell topic. Let's talk candy pins. So Catt, what are candy pins and what do they do?
So Candy Pins is a collectible system for Candy Crush. So you are trying to collect this big collection of digital enamel pins. So they're a lot like the real pins you'd get in real life, except inside the Candy Crush game. You have a certain number of days to collect the whole set. And if you can get all of them in the time limit, you get a big grand prize at the end.
Ooh, all right, I gotta work harder towards that big grand prize. And there's a new collection going on right now, right?
There is, right. So I think we're on our third or fourth collection. So each one has a different theme, kind of a different sort of a story behind it. And yeah, so we try and make them very different every time. So I'm excited to see what people think of the
Nice. So can you explain a little bit more about how candy pins work and how players can get involved if this is an aspect of Candy Crush Saga they haven't really interacted with yet?
Yeah, absolutely. So you actually start collecting pins automatically just by playing the game, which is fantastic. So if you're in the game, at the bottom, you'll see a tab called Pins.
Okay.
And if you click on that, you'll see your current collection and also what it is that you're still waiting to collect. And then as you kind of play levels and you win levels and you kind of get to the end of episodes, you'll kind of unlock them automatically. And the faster you play, the more levels you're winning, the more races you're winning, the more of them you'll get. So there's definitely an incentive to kind of push yourself a little bit harder to get all of them before the time runs out.
Get all the pins, for sure. Okay, how did candy pins come about? Who originally came up with this idea?
Gosh, so we knew that we wanted to do a collectible system because we know that players really love to feel rewarded for their progress. Players are very proud of their achievements in the game, and we wanted them to be able to show that off and feel like they were really getting something for all the hard work that they're putting in. For a while, I was trying to persuade the team that snow globes was a good idea.
Snow globes are cool to collect.
I think the art team are very glad we didn't go with snow globes. I think they would have been very difficult.
What makes this feature special or different for you personally? Like, why are you so proud or excited by it? I can feel that coming off the couch.
Yeah, what I love about the pins, about candy pins, is that we get the opportunity to build out our world and explore parts of our story that we kind of don't really have space to do in other places. And I feel like candy pins really gives us that opportunity. We did a set quite recently that was like a hot spring trip where all the friends have gone to the hot springs. It's fun to just try putting the characters in those situations and see what comes out at the end.
Now, if there's a discrepancy on the team of that's not the type of swimsuit Misty would wear, who gets to make the final call?
We work with this just amazing art team, and it doesn't really matter almost what I say. Like, they will come out with something so much cooler and funnier and more beautiful. And if I'd said oh, we should put Misty in a rainbow swimsuit, they would come back with something that's a million times better that I never would have thought of. So it's usually them because they have the better ideas.
Now, a little birdie told me that you like to hang out in the forums from time to time and get feedback straight from the players. Is there any feedback that you've seen or heard from players that took you off guard or surprised you in some way?
Yeah, I do. I'm sorry. I do hang out on the forums, not all the time, and I don't post there. I just like to hang out there. But yeah, so it has been really lovely seeing people show off their collections and talk about the pins that they liked. There was one poster who I think said that the pins were really witty, which I think was the highlight of my career so far. So like maybe thank you to the person on the forums. Actually, thank you to all the people on the forums, because they really are such dedicated fans, and they think a lot about the game, and they think of things that we don't always think of. So I do love going on there. I think they're very cool folks on the forums.
You've also heard a lot from the community about how much they love these designs. Can you talk a little bit to the design approach for the pins themselves?
Yeah, so for the design of pins, what is the pinness of a pin? We did spend a lot of time with physical pins. So I bought lots of them. I went to lots of shops and looked at lots of them. I spent an afternoon putting pins in different kinds of packaging, like boxes or wrappers or envelopes, and sort of shaking them, and what do they sound like when you open them? How does the light catch them when you get them out of the packet? So my job is very strange. It's a weird job.
It's an incredibly cool job. Do you ever think that real life pins might be in the cards for players?
I think it's possible.
Okay.
I love the idea of real pins for players. We actually did make real pins for the team to celebrate. I have some of them I can show you.
Yes, can you show them?
We made these for the team to celebrate when they came out.
Oh, look how amazing they
so
are.
Beautiful. I love how sparkly they are.
They are.
They're just really clever, and the designs and the colors have come out really, really nicely. I just think they're great. So I would love to see them be something that players can get someday in the future.
At some point, it just might happen. But I love that we're already, a small step in that direction.
And it was good research seeing them as real pins so that we could know how they would work.
And finally, Catt, can you share any advice or pro tips for how players can get the most out of candy pins, like maybe your own personal secret strategy?
So when you collect pins,
Yes.
Sometimes you'll get a pin that you already have. And that could be disappointing, except that in our Candy Pins feature, those get traded kind of for sparks, which are a kind of point that you can spend in the game. So you can collect all of these sparks from your duplicate pins, and you can use them to unlock treasure chests with different rewards inside. I don't know if this is the best strategy, it's just what I do, is to hoard as many sparks as I can and buy the biggest treasure chest, because that always comes with a unique pin inside, so I know I'm going to get something I don't have, but it also has lots of rewards inside, and I think I just like getting lots of boosters.
Catt, I am too impulsive and always buy the treasure chest as soon as I have enough sparks, and I did not know that there's a special pin in the biggest one.
The biggest one, you will always get something that you don't have, so it's worth saving, I think.
You just changed my pin collecting strategy, so thank you so much. But I love the sparks, because you're right, then there's no feeling of disappointment or something like that if you're collecting a pin that you already have, because you get the sparks for it. In our closing tradition, Catt, what would you like to ask our player community?
Oh gosh, so many questions. I think I would like to know if the players would be interested in physical pins. I think, and particularly what pins they'd be interested in seeing. So what would they like to see come out of the game into the real world? And I think I would maybe also ask, what do you want to know about the characters? Like, what pins could we create to tell you more about what's happening in the Candy Crush world? So that's what I would ask, I think.
I would love to see the deepest Candy Crush lore moving forward.
Let's do it.
Catt, it has been so much fun chatting with you. Thank you for sharing all of your pro tips and insider knowledge with us today. Folks, make sure you let us know your thoughts on candy pins in the comments. Next time, we'll be diving into a pretty slippery topic with Senior Product Director Elena. You guessed it, it's fish. Thanks for joining, everyone, and keep crushing it.